This is Sammy Dewey from Goat Whore, and you're listening to Tales from the Riff podcast. And don't forget to beat your meat.
Where are you coming from, John?
I'm coming from Niagara Falls, U.S. side, around there.
All right.
So Buffalo, New York.
Buffalo, New York.
And then you said you're from where?
Lafayette, Louisiana.
They got some
Cajun
good food.
country, as they say.
Yeah, I was about to say that I've heard a lot of good things about food down there.
Man, anywhere living anywhere else is be boring, in my opinion. That's when it comes for food. I mean, but I'm biased.
It's okay. Do they have a lot of food trucks down there?
They actually do. Like, in fact, my my godmother, my nanny, she opened up her own food truck. It's called like Ma's Cajun Cooking, and I mean, she does all kind of catering services, and along with the food truck, it's just exclusively like Cajun cooking. It's great, and but like we have our fair share of like people like Viva La Waffle, where they put everything on a waffle, basically. Um, Taco trucks galore.
That's awesome. Yeah, I watched like a documentary as of recently, literally just about food trucks and like the people out there. Oh man, they embrace it, dog. Like, I mean, and I've had a friend that like literally moved there and was like, "Yeah, the food is like the best part." I'm like,
Mm-mm.
"Wow, like, might as well pack my bag and just go get some good food."
Absolutely.
um, but yeah, yeah. I mean, I
Man,
gotta get out
so
there.
let me tell you, I'm really just in total envy of your movie, of your documentary. Uh, you had just about every heavy hitter in extreme metal music on that in that film, and man, that's congrats. That's all I could say.
Thank you so much, man.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there were some heavy hitters, man. I'm just glad that I mean, before this, we were talking about how like accessible people are and just grateful they are to have like a platform to talk on and not feel like they're like promoting like pushing stuff at people but it was really I don't know, it was just a really cool experience and yeah, some heavy hitters without a doubt, man.
I mean, you start right out of the gate talking to Napalm Death, and I was like, holy shit. It's like, man,
Yeah,
this is the I mean, between you and I have a good friend of mine, Tyson. He worked for a radio station down here in Lafayette, and I mean, he got to interview and mingle with some of whoever came metal wise to our area and want to promote their show, whatnot. And he had been doing it for like 10, 15 years or something like that. And the reason part of the reason why I started my podcast was like because I always want to have his job.
dude, you're gonna get there. I know you
Yeah.
are, dude. The biggest thing I've learned about podcasting and getting in contact with bands is just being outgoing, and like just having a positive attitude,
Oh
man.
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you're willing to, put the time aside and put the effort in to make it something cool, which you're doing, like just keep working at it. It's just building blocks, man. You keep
Yeah.
mingling with bands, man, like you're gonna
Yeah.
be the greatest podcaster of all time, and you'll be like, all right, let's do it.
I
And
did it.
I'm far from a good podcaster at all. It's
Oh,
just
me
like
too.
I put some time into like sending out emails. That's what it came down to,
Exactly.
you
That's
know.
a lot of my friends, that are into our music we appreciate. They're like, how in the shit did you land Mark, or how did you land Sammy from Goat Whore twice? And like, just shot me email, man.
Yeah, that's the funny thing. Like I've had a few of those conversations with friends. They're like, "How did you get a camera in front of Barney Greenway? How did that agreement happen?" I'm like, "Well, we sat down, we signed an agreement, and the agreement said, $1 billion. No, it didn't. It was literally like he was walking to his tour bus and I was filming with I Hate God. And I was like, hey, man, after you eat, like, come over here and let's talk. Like, that's how it went. Like, um, but yeah, I mean,
Speaking of I Hate God, I spoke to Gary from I Hate God yesterday.
that's cool.
Um,
On your podcast
no. I
at the
was in New
show.
Orleans. I was in New Orleans earlier yesterday, and he one of my good friends does merch for I Hate God, and he was just making delivery, and I was like, oh shit, there's fucking Gary.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you should have them on your podcast. That'd be
I d
awesome.
Believe me, I've been trying.
What?
Yeah,
What?
it's been catching them, in the middle of a tour. They tour relentlessly.
Oh
They
yeah.
play I mean, they like their shirts say or their Instagram medias say, they never sleep. I mean,
They don't. They literally don't.
no, man. I mean, it's like they get back from from a tour from Europe that lasted maybe, a month, 3 months, come back to Louisiana for me like it'd be a week, if that, and they're out again.
Yeah, well, that's definitely the thing I've learned with I Hate God. I mean, I think that they have some spice to them. Like their music is very good, but what separates them from the rest is the amount of touring they do. Like
Yeah.
that band. I feel like if that band didn't tour as much as they did, um, I'm not saying they wouldn't be as popular as they are, but I think that just helps a lot. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like their music speaks for itself. Like it's very heavy. It's like very grabs you. But
Yeah,
that's a integral part in like making a statement. Let's put it that way. And
right.
they do that very well.
They do. They I've seen them play these small little venues and like it might have anywhere from 20 to 100 people inside the venue, but it's just as aggressive, just as freaking just the music is very visceral and you just can't help but like bob your head, bang your head and be like, "Fuck, can't wait for the next show." And I continually go every single time. I'm 42, so I've been seeing them since I was like, 18, 19 years old.
Yeah. And they're one of those bands that have been aging well. You know what I mean? Like
Oh yeah,
a lot of
yeah,
the people, I mean, a good portion of the people that I filmed with on that documentary, like they're all aging very well. You know what I
they
mean?
are.
Like their music speaks for itself, and like I don't know, they're not like changing gears and like turning into like a ska punk band. They're just sticking
Now,
to like being a death metal band, and that's it. You know?
yeah, I think that their reach gets a little bigger as technology gets a little bit more advanced. With the with the help of the internet. I mean, if it, I've made it. I mentioned it on several of my podcasts. It's because of America Online in 1995. Whenever it launched, I was in those chat rooms and I didn't know a clue about Norway and black metal. And then I get in this chat room for metalheads and I'm getting all these emails and files. It was like tape trading back in the 80s, but kids were sending like files and clips of stuff. And man, it's like, hey Mo, here's Dark Throne. So it's
Yeah.
like there's no
Hey
turning
Mo.
back.
Hey Mo, here's death metal. You're like, what is death metal, man?
Sounds very interesting.
Like obituary turns on and you're just sitting there, you're like, huh.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm all in.
I'm in this. Yeah.
Here's my dice, man. Here's my cards. Going for it.
Man, so you got your own little studio?
A little bit, yeah. I guess that's what we call it. I mean, I'm like a guitar player or whatever, so
Me
I
too.
try to, yeah, I try to make. I don't know. I've always wanted to have like a creative space where I could try to be productive, and yeah, that's how it ended up. But what do you play?
uh, I, well, I just did a count and I have 8 guitars now.
Yeah.
And I just received one of Rob Gray's latest Star Destroyers.
Okay.
I got two of those. I bought the Hollow Crackle that he had put out, and I fell in love with that guitar. Everything about that guitar is just perfect. And he said, "Hey, would you be interested in another finish?" I said, "Absolutely." So I got a blood splatter finish Star Destroyer, and
Okay.
I love playing the 20 the Fender scale 25.5 and a half inch, yeah, 25 and a half inch scale, and just so happened that I got that. I bought like four guitars. I have really have that gear acquirement syndrome thing where I'll see a guitar and I'll just on impulse like want it and like I'll buy it and I need to put the wallet away.
Yeah, hide that thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem. I remember when I was huge into practicing guitar, practicing this, that, the other thing. It's like one of those holes that you'll fall into, man. You got the pedals, you got the software, you got the interface, you got the if you want to play different instruments, drums, you got all that kind of stuff, man.
Yep.
It's like
Yep.
a little candy shop.
Yep. And then like my fiance, my wife now, at the time was my birthday, and she saw me watching one video, and I'm not trying to pump neural quad cortex, but I was like, man, why get one amp head when I can have all the amps?
Yeah.
and and my birthday rolls around, she's like, she got me the quad cortex. I was like, okay, well, yeah,
Damn.
that's when I
Damn.
knew
She
that.
buys you guitar gear?
Man, she bought me my first Jackson, and she bought me my quad cortex. That's how I
Damn.
knew. That's how I knew, John. That was the one.
Oh, I was like, "Damn, like, she's buying you guitar gear? Like, that's awesome."
Yeah. Now, they
Wow,
were
yeah,
both my I mean, it's not like she just splurged on me. It was my birthday, so it's all
that's
good.
good, man. Yeah, I have an Axe FX Ultra. That's, like, my thing.
I was
It's
looking at
really
that before the quad cortex.
yeah, like, that's what I have, and it's really good for, messing around with, like, I don't know, pre-production stuff. I
Hmm.
mean, you could definitely write a record on it, but, I mean,
Oh yeah.
um, I'm not to that point. That's a lot of work.
Oh yeah. So
That's a lot.
how did you get into the filmmaking business?
Oh. Ooh. Okay, business that's hard. I mean, I got into filmmaking. I didn't get into any business. Let's put it that
Okay.
way. Um I I don't know. Like I just kind of had a huge passion for it. I hadn't yeah. Um I was already planning on going to these shows. Like I was already gonna attend um the shows anyway.
Hmm.
With my podcast or whatever, like that was my thing, just talking to people, trying to like shed some light on how metal's doing in this day and age.
Yeah.
And yeah, film. It's been a thing on my mind for a long time. I've wanted to do music videos and all that stuff, but I was a photographer for like 3 years. My dad hooked me up with a little crappy camera, and that's how it kind of started.
Nice. And it just
But
went from there.
yeah, man. So yeah, it shot off firework from there.
What kind of camera was it?
The first one,
Hmm.
it was a Canon T6. It's not bad, but it's
Not
really
bad.
not that good.
And what did you shoot the movie with?
A Sony A7 III.
I mean, the quality on that is right. I mean, the documentary. I mean, I watched a bunch of them like over the years about metal, and like the clarity, I mean, it's very high definition, and I was just like, man, it sounds great. It's like you did your homework.
Thank you so much,
Oh
man.
yeah,
I
dude.
I appreciate that. Yeah, there's been like mixed reviews with like the length and all that kind of stuff, and but generally like a lot of people are really digging it, which I'm very humble about because it's been like a huge learning process for me, man, because like I didn't know how to do any of it. Like literally, I started learning how to film the beginning. I hit record for the first part of the documentary. I didn't know how to do any of it before that. But yeah, the Sony A7 III, I can't say anything better about that. It's like the perfect all-in-one photography, video, film camera. If you could drop the change, get it.
Well, like we mentioned before, I don't have the face for for YouTube or anything like that. So
Oh, me neither.
I just keep it audio friendly. I'm good with that.
It's okay, man. You got a good Joe Rogan voice, man. Like, it's like people have said to me, they're like, "You have a good radio voice." I'm like, "No, I don't." And I don't. I definitely don't have a Joe Rogan face, man. But I can definitely make somebody laugh. You know?
It's funny because like a lot of my friends, like when I started doing the episodes around here, like, oh, we're gonna go on Mo Rogan's podcast now. I was like, what? I didn't say that. Y'all did.
Yeah. Well, it's a cool thing, man. I think the platform of a podcast is really fun. I mean,
It
you
really
don't
is.
have. It's just one of those things where you just let loose and just talk about what's on your mind. At least that's what I do. Some people have strict bullet points they want to hit. Where
Yeah.
me nowadays, I'm just like I'm trying to go off the rails and talk about pizza and like what
What
they
kind of
did
pizza you
last
like?
week. Man, like let's put it this way: if there's like a decent amount of cheese and it
I'm with
tastes
you
like a
on that.
New York style pizza, I'm all in.
Have you been to Europe?
No. The last guy was from UK, and he was like, "Dude, like, come to Europe, come to UK." I'm like, "I'm gonna get there." Why? Did they got
Well,
good pizza down there?
oh my God, yes. It is phenomenal.
It's
I
better than the United States. That's crazy.
yeah. I'm a very like you could put the now. I never been to Chicago. I never been to New York. Truth be told, and I hear nothing but good things about New York and Chicago style pizza. But I've been to actually I had really good pizza in Colombia as well.
Really?
Um,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, you wouldn't never guess, but yeah, I mean they were all in with their pizza. It was like New York style. But I went up. My wife and I we got married in Copenhagen this past April.
Okay.
And it's like, when we got tired of, eating like, the nice little establishments because, we were tourists and we doing one of the tourist things like that. And it's like, let's go grab a pizza somewhere. And man, like it was not really a food truck, but it was just a vendor. It was just like old school like vendors that selling pizza, man. And I mean, I was like, bruh, I can't imagine how they would do it like in a full blown like Italian restaurant in Copenhagen or something like that. And then
Oh man.
we went to some like it's kind of like Copenhagen's equivalent of Disney World,
Okay.
and they had a pizza joint Italian restaurant in there, and holy, it was like authentic Italian. It was, I mean, the real deal,
The
like
real
where
deal.
they called the pizza like the margarita pizza or a pie. Like, it was a pie to them,
Yeah,
and I was like,
it better be a pie.
dude,
Yeah. If you don't call it a pie, there's a problem. They're
right.
like, "It ain't pizza, man. It's a pie.
That's right.
It's a pie."
It's a pie.
Um, yeah, I'm Italian, but I'm not that Italian. Um, but yeah, pizza is just one thing that has to be brought up, man.
Yeah. I mean, you could start a war without having the right pizza.
Man, that's funny. But
So,
yeah,
what
go ahead.
I like to ask people when they come on my podcast, man. It's like, what was your trajectory of like your gateway to metal?
Gateway to
And
metal.
like what notable bands or what notable records just kind of, put you in that tailspin of like, this is me, this is what I want, and this is
Yeah.
where how I'm living.
I don't know if it was kind of a trajectory that was kind of drunk. Like it was a guy trying to shoot and he couldn't really figure out what was going on. That was me. Um, I started off with like Van Halen. Uh,
Oh yeah.
man, like Eruption. I saw that live, and that kind of got me interested into guitar. And then I used to go to a friend's house. His name was Dale. Still is my friend, but
So Dale.
yeah, yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to Dale. His dad used to play some really uh, crazy drums, and he had this huge CD collection, man, gigantic. And I would bring my laptop over, and I'd be like, "Hey, man, do you mind if I download some CDs of yours, man?" And he's like, "Yeah, go ahead." And needless to say, man, Scream Bloody Gore. I remember
Oh yeah.
pulling that up on my iPod, the cover. It just like it was like, man, this is it. This is I don't know, it just hit me on every level, man. I think I was just super young and very impressionable,
Hmm.
and it doesn't get better than Death Scream Bloody Gore. That's it.
No, I mean that's entire catalog just stays in the playlist. You know,
Yeah.
they just do. I mean, uh, I remember like just last night I saw one of my friends on Instagram like post like this is the best solo that's ever recorded in my opinion. And he was talking about moment of clarity on Sound of Perseverance, and I was like, dude, it's like that was the last Death album, and it's like it still hits to this day.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
it's still like a monumental piece in history, man. Like that, and I think that's one of my favorite records too, because like it still holds up, man. The quality, like the tone of the guitars, man. Holy crap! Like,
Yeah,
whoo, you
like
know.
those musicians, and man, I was fortunate last year uh to watch the Chuck Schuldiner tribute show in Florida at the Brass
God
Mug.
damn it! I was gonna go, man. I had
Oh
friends
man,
that
you should have
drove
been
all
there.
the way there. Yeah, in Florida, right?
Yeah, yeah, it was right there in Tampa,
Yeah,
and
yeah. I screwed up.
it was so fun. I'm sure they're gonna do it again. Um, they had it was a 2 night show, and they had pretty much every player, with the exception of the Bill Andrews, who was on the earlier Death albums like Spiritual Healing. Um, um, but I mean, they had James Murphy, Shannon Ham. I mean, it was nuts, man. It was like, and I believe his name is Max Phelps, who does the vocals for the Death to All tribute band,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
and it's like, dude, you close your eyes and like you just imagine that Chuck was in the place. It was
yeah.
just
That I mean, from the funny like YouTube videos that I saw, like the super shaky ones and the
Mhm.
super pixelated ones, I could tell, even though like the video was rough and the sound was rough. I'm like the I don't know. I had the atmosphere of like Chuck being in the room, man.
Yeah,
Like,
and his
you
family was
know,
present.
wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's cool.
his nephew was there the night that I went, and I didn't recognize him. Guy was standing like 2 feet in front of me, and someone yelled out his name. I believe it's Chris, and I was like, saw his face. I was like, I recognize his face from the social media, and I was just wow. And they had it was like they had like a little museum of Chuck like in the back and everything death related, like his guitars, um, like fucking notepads where he like wrote out all the lyrics to some songs.
That's so cool, man.
Dude, I was like, I got chills just like bringing those memories back up, and it was just last year. It was just it was awesome, man. I mean,
Y-
I'm a
I
death fanatic.
saw, yeah, I saw a picture of the black. What's the model of the guitar that he had?
It's like a warrior. No, 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 no.
it kind of looked like a warrior. But anyway, that guitar, like I saw a picture, somebody took a photo of that, and I was like, man, if I even got close to that, I would probably like tear up, man. That
Oh,
because
I was,
just
dude. It was totally surreal. It was. It's
yeah,
like behind this glass, but it's like right there. You know,
yeah, and you're just like, damn, that guitar meant so much to me. Even though like I wouldn't be able to touch it, like just being so close to something has made such an impact on your
stealth.
life.
It's a stealth.
I don't know. Stealth. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
I could. I don't know
yeah.
why the name escaped me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I got to meet a lot of people over there. In fact, Matt Harvey, who was in your movie, I ran into him because he did vocals for one set that night,
Yeah.
and that was cool. In fact, I wore my Exhumed shirt, and he found me first. He was like, "Hey, nice fucking shirt."
That's funny. That's exactly how he would sound too. Like the hour or 2 hours that I like spent with him. Like I don't know. I could just understand his personality pretty easily now. Like he's
Hmm.
just a very outgoing dude.
Yeah,
A
very
Wikipedia.
interesting. Very interesting cat. I like that's one guy I like to talk to on my podcast as well. I mean, we had a very short-lived. In fact, I was maybe just a month in um, last year. Whenever I was at the tribute show, because that was December,
Yeah.
and I was just a month into my podcast, and I was like trying to like I was throwing my digital card out there, and
Throw
you
it
know
out, man.
it was like I was trading out my email, my phone number, and it's like, hey, I like to have you. And the opening band that played out there, they were very interested. They were the up and coming band from Tallahassee,
Okay.
so they were cool. Brian, my boy Brian, I was talking to Brian for a while. Brian Williams.
That's awesome. Yeah, man, you just gotta start throwing that freaking dice, man. People love to talk about what they got going on with their
Yeah.
band or whatever, you know. Um, but yeah, podcasting is so fun.
How long you been
uh,
doing it now?
oh God. Well, I didn't start Noise Dosage Media until the beginning of the pandemic. Like right when everything started shutting down, like I was like, I need to do something productive and something to keep me going. So
Yeah.
like not that long, couple years, but um yeah, you just gotta stay at it. If you're consistent and you got some drive and I guess for me, like, don't think of it as a business too. Like, just
Oh
keep
no.
it, yeah, keep it as like a fun thing. Like, I mean
Yeah.
uh, that's drive for me, dude.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, I got all this gear, Roadcaster, the mics, and all this and that, and because I was like, like you, I was bored. I wasn't doing anything really creative, and I think I kind of hit like a block with my guitar playing because I only been playing like less than 4 years now, and
Yeah,
uh, and I was like, man, I'd really like to do a podcast because I got a bunch of like local friends that are in bands, like to showcase, what they got going on here in the Lafayette metal scene, and then all of a sudden just became like Louisiana metal and beyond.
yeah,
And I just approach it like it's just fun, and
yeah, it is,
I
man.
love
Like,
meeting new people. I love talking like gear and music and what they're into and what they're about to drop on us and all that good shit.
I think some of the coolest things about it is like hearing what's going on with like a band you really like before everybody else does too. That's super fun.
Yeah, it
They're just like,
is.
oh yeah, we have a record that's done. It's been done. I'm like, God damn it. I'm like, okay, now I have to deal with knowing this. Um, but yeah, Undeath did that to me. They're a band from around here, and I filmed with them, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we have a full length record done. we're just waiting to release it, you know, and then like a couple months later they just dropped it on people. It
Yeah.
was funny.
Yeah, that's because of my relationship, my good friendship with the guys from Go Horror, man. Which I didn't think was. I mean, the 13-year-old Mo that you talk, if you'd have told him, "Hey, you're gonna become buds with the guy who wrote When the Kite String Pops and when in Pagan Terrorism Tactics, you, he's gonna want you to, he's gonna want to hang out with you," I'd been like, "You're a fucking liar." you know, I mean dude, like life is surreal, like on that alone, because
Yeah, man.
the weight that particular artist had on me, and like, dude, like I knew from like an early age that somehow, some way, me and the guys from Acid Bat would get along good because of like they were into some of the things that I was into, and they were writing the music that they were doing, and I was like, I'm into this, and it was just just a matter of time.
Yeah. And once you realize like these musicians that have made such an impact on your life, I don't care if it's like huge bands like I don't care, like Slipknot or like anyway, they're all people, man.
Yeah.
They're all just people. It doesn't matter how popular they are or how many monthly listeners they have or likes on social media. Like it doesn't matter. They're all just people. They all have an
Yeah.
email address. They all have like a phone number. They are all have like ability to conversate just like this. You know,
Hmm.
um, it's just getting a hold of them and their want to actually do it. You know.
Yeah. And it's some hardworking guys too, man. At least the guys that I've encountered, like every band. I mean, whether it's a young Louisiana band or someone that's like really established, like Mark, like Thomas Erickson, and uh, Pat Bruders from Down that I got to interview. They're like the music is the way of life, and they don't back down from making the sacrifices that they do. And they continue to work hard, hone in their craft day in, day out, make the practices, and they just become like you said, they're just like us. They're people, and they just got a different skill set than us.
Yeah, man. It's
Yeah.
just like a different, yeah, like a different mindset on life, man. I think some people they want to have like the biggest house and the nicest car and 7 dogs and a wife and yeah, etc. 22 kids. Like, and then there's other people that are just happy
22
with,
minimum.
yeah, and like, or being like a cat person. Like, anyway. Um, and then you have a person that has like an apartment with like a little studio like this and just tours all year. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That makes them happy, you know?
Yeah.
Um, it just comes down to dedication, commitments, and, you know, purpose in life, I guess. I have no idea.
Absolutely.
But
So what you got in the works? You
my
got another documentary coming up?
yeah, I'm like I don't want to put a percentage on it because I don't know what's considered done nowadays, but I have like five conversations filmed so far for the next documentary. Uh you know what, I'll drop some for you. I have Scott from Carnifex I just did a few weeks ago, Full of Hell, and Imperial Triumphant are going to be
Oh yeah.
in the
And I
next one.
missed their show. They played New Orleans with some friends of mine, and I fucking dropped the ball on that show.
You dropped the bomb.
Yep.
Oh man. Well, it's okay. But yeah, that's kind of what I got going on. What do you got going on? You keeping up with the podcast? What you up
Man,
to?
I kind of my day job gets in the way of a good time.
What's your day job? I'm curious.
I am a title researcher, basically. I like real estate, oil and gas. Um, Whenever oil companies or gas companies want to like set up either uh pipelines or oil rigs or whatever they start drilling. But before that happens, they need people to basically like investigate who owns all the mineral rights to the land, and that's where
Oh,
people like
okay.
myself come in. And my boss, he basically just tells me where I got to go and what I got to do and how back he wants me to research it. You know,
Hmm.
uh, so
Okay.
it's interesting, but when it's busy, it's busy, and and like unfortunately for October, it's been really busy on
Yeah.
like, and so I haven't put out a whole lot of content on in October, and like trying not to think of it as a business and like not put too much stress on myself because I didn't do that.
Yeah.
But I do have a few more, 10 more days before October is up. So I got a couple of podcasts that I'll be able to release. Probably this will be one of them too.
Yeah, this is awesome, man. I mean, like, that's kind of funny you say that because, like, I don't know. I don't try to look at it as like that, but like, I definitely, if I don't, like, there's been months where I just don't do the podcast at all. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't like want to touch it. I'm just not either. I'm not inspired to do it, or just like I just feel like I have nothing interesting to
Mhm.
say.
Yeah.
And it comes in waves for me. Like, I mean, I'll be like super intrigued to reach out to people, and then I'll just want to kind of just hang out 1 month. You know what I mean? But I think that's the important thing about podcasting. You don't want to try to like force something,
Right.
and then it comes out, and you're like, damn, like that. I don't know. As a regular listener, like, I don't know, you got to be like hooked into something.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
Any type of creative endeavor.
and I think I had caught a little bit of that myself. Just kind of like I didn't want to force anything. Um, I reached out to some bands, and for whatever reason, we just couldn't link up. And now I was like, okay, well, it just wasn't meant to be. I'm not gonna put too much pressure on either myself or the artist, because I don't want to get in a situation like you said, like it's like a forced situation, and it's kind of comes off as, I know I can come off as awkward.
Nah, man, you're doing. I mean, I think it's funny that you say that because a lot of podcasters say that, and then
Mhm.
like once they hit the record button, they're just like podcast mode. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
something clicks. I was
yeah.
an antisocial fucker when I was
Oh,
younger, man.
yeah.
Like I didn't want to talk to anybody. I just want to put my headphones on, these exact ones, and just listen to my music when I
Fucking
was
right.
younger. But yeah, whatever. But that's cool, man.
So what's the next show you're going to? You got one lined up?
Hold up. Yes, now I think about it. Great American Ghost. It's them and my friends in White Ties. They're a local band from around here. I'm gonna see. Have you heard of them before? Great
No, I
American
have
Ghost.
not. No.
They're like a hardcore ish extreme metal band. I don't know. I guess that's how I'd put them. But they're pretty aggressive.
Hmm.
They get me fired up. But yeah, that's next week. I'm gonna be
Nice.
filming with them, and yeah, I just try to keep busy with the music thing. But eventually, it's gonna be like that for me, where I have like limited amount of time. But I'm trying to squeeze as much of this as humanly possible
Right. Right.
as I can. As I can. What's your next show?
It's gonna be a local one over here too. You heard of the band Exhorter?
X Order, yeah,
Exhorter.
yeah.
Well, they're playing a show here in Lafayette, my hometown, with Capra, which is they're signed to Metal Blade, uh, female fronted, great group of musicians.
Yeah.
Um, they're hardcore, you know, got some metal tendencies. Let's see, and my buddy's Cranial Sledge. I got a bunch of good friends that were in some metal veterans from a bunch of bands that were here in Lafayette, and I mean, I heard snippets of their new music. It's gonna be their first show, and they're opening up for Exorder, so that's gonna be a blast.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Do you ever think about doing like in-person podcasting? Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah, yeah. Like some of my podcasts, um, like I'll go meet whoever. Uh, the black metal band from New Orleans, Mahennet, like that
Okay.
was done. That was done in their studio. That was some shit right there. That was a great time.
That's rad. I know I was gonna say because um I've had Kyle on my show, like the singer of
Vitriol.
X Horror.
Oh,
No,
okay, yeah.
X Horror. I'm like, man, I could hook him up to like talk to him in person. That would be cool.
Oh yeah,
Um,
man.
but
That'd be really awesome.
yeah, well, maybe let me text him after this. Maybe I could hook you up. Um, but yeah, that's cool, man. Do you go to like a lot of festivals or no?
Oh, I'm going to Inferno Festival again. I think I'm gonna make that my annual thing to do. You know,
Where is that?
that's in Oslo,
Infernal?
Norway.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
Okay.
yeah. Cause see, like when Elisa and I got married, it's like she did. I mean, she's like the best. She's like, they have that metal festival you want to go to on around the same date we're gonna go to Copenhagen. I was like, yeah, it's gonna happen. And uh, I was fortunate to meet Mark Thomas Erickson in person.
Oh man, what?
Yeah, yeah. In fact, he didn't think I could do it, but he was looking for the Danzig one on vinyl, and he could not
Uh-huh.
find it for
Okay.
anything less than like 200 euros or 200 American. And
Yeah.
I said, all right, game on. I bet I could find that vinyl for less than that. He said, you can? I said, I will. I said, I will find it and I'll hand deliver it to you at Inferno Festival. And he was like, I was giving him the play by play. Like, hey, I touched down in Oslo. I'm at the airport. He's like, okay, let me know when you're about 15 minutes away from the hotel. Hey, I'm 15 minutes from the hotel. Like, this is all done like via Facebook. and,
just for the delivery of the record.
yeah, and we got to hang out at the he was in the same hotel that I was. I mean, in fact, pretty much every act and artist that was not from Oslo was in my hotel. And
Okay.
I wish I had like my podcast set up with me at the time, but priority, was the wedding.
Yeah, I was about to say your wife is probably like, "Hey, spend some time with me, god damn it!" Like,
but I got to talk to Billy Messiah from Mayhem.
okay,
Um, I got to meet Hellhammer. I met the the warrior himself, fucking Tom G. Uh, I met him and Anders from Cadaver, and he also played in Triptychon with Tom G. Uh, in Helvet, in Euronymous' record
oh,
store.
you went there? You
Oh
went
God,
there?
yeah, yeah. That was like a pilgrimage right there, man.
What did you say that festival was called again?
Inferno Festival,
Infernal Festival.
and
Okay.
I think you should come with me this year.
Yeah, man. Infernal Festival. Okay, might have to check that out.
You could probably get yourself some. I mean, since you shot an actual documentary, you could probably get you know, media passes or something.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be cool. Like, just take a trip and just film the whole thing.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
I can tell you
Yeah, I
where to
have to
go.
check it out.
You won't. You won't.
Yeah,
You won't even a tour guide. I got you. I spent a
I,
week out there.
yeah, like one of the things are for me, like I've only traveled around the US. So
Mhm.
like there's a lot of festivals like Bloodstock and
I want to go to that one so bad.
There's just a lot of cool things that are happening outside of the United States,
Yeah.
and it would be so much fun to just, I don't know, experience it. Uh, I
And
just
then,
it's the language barrier that gets me where I'm just like,
believe it
it
or
makes me
not, man,
nervous.
believe it or not, but in Scandinavia, their English is better than ours.
I, yeah, I mean, and that's the funny thing. The dude that I was just talking to said that the people in UK know English better than us sometimes.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I mean,
and it's funny because like they could just flip a switch and they could speak three more languages. It's like our concierge at the Copenhagen hotel. I don't, I don't mean to put him down or anything like that, but like he's I'm a little darker than most people in color, and he started speaking Spanish right away, and I was like, oh no, I'm American, I speak English. He did. Oh, he's like, I'm sorry, sir. I mean, he sounded just as American as I did, but
yeah,
the guy was from Denmark and he spoke French, Spanish, Italian, and Danish. It was just, I felt if you ever want to feel real stupid,
yeah,
go to Europe. Just go to Europe.
yeah. Well, yeah, yeah. I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I remember getting taught like Spanish in high school,
Hmm.
and thinking to myself like, yeah, that would be valuable, but I'm not going to pay attention in class, like whatever. And
Yeah.
now I'm just like, damn, I wish I would have took advantage of that because learning second languages is super important if you want to travel,
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
um, but I don't know. There's a few like Mexican festivals, uh, that look interesting, but I don't know. I don't know if I would remember it if I didn't keep up on it.
Yeah. Yeah. And it could be, I mean, if your cell phone dies and you don't have Google Translate there to help you, you're kind of SOL.
Yeah.
Because we were trying to quarterback the metro system in Denmark in Copenhagen, and like there was no rhyme or reason to it. Like everything was in Danish, and we're like silly Americans got our cell phones, Google Translate. It's like, nah, we're just gonna take the bus.
Yeah, like
Probably end up in Sweden somewhere, which wouldn't have been a bad thing, but we'll count on the schedule.
yeah, you're like, I kind of got a wedding to attend. Like,
Exactly.
yo, you want to know? It'd be really funny if like you showed up and like, uh, some people just like dressed up as suits and they're like doing your wedding for you.
Oh, dude, that'd have been
That'd
awesome.
be so like the biggest prank of all time.
Yeah, she'd have killed me.
I would have been like, who are you two?
Yeah. What? I'm I'm a question mark.
Yeah, I think I'm supposed to get married. Who are you?
Mm.
But yeah, I mean, that's cool that you like the documentary. What did you like about it? What did you dislike about it? What give me some things.
Did on a documentary?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Man, I think you could have you could have chopped it up a little bit. I mean, it was like 3.5 hours long.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think if you'd have broken up like maybe in two parts,
Yep.
perfect.
That's been a thing.
Yeah. But other than
Um,
that, dude, I wouldn't touch it, man. I think you really captured the aesthetic of like the metal community with everyone you talk to. I mean, like I said, the like you got guys who are, in my opinion, like legend status, dude. I mean, like Barney, fucking Kirk from uh
Crowbar.
yeah, dude. I mean, I just shook hands with Kirk for the first time about 3 weeks ago when he played a show here in Lafayette, and I was like, it's like what I was watching your documentary. I was like, man, he's like talking to all the dudes that I want to talk to eventually, you know? This is so, I mean, you made me a very envious guy, man. And like, and the fact that you had it all done on camera is just amazing. I mean, it's, you know, it's gonna be on YouTube forever until they decide to pull it down.
Oh,
But
I'm not pulling it down. I mean, the only thing that's gonna pull it down is YouTube falling apart.
that's what I'm saying. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
there. And
yeah.
you know, I'm a fan of it, man. Like I really am. I'm not blowing any smoke up your ass. It's I and my family will vouch for me, man. Like I'm more into like documentaries, especially music metal documentaries. Like whenever you know um the death movie came out, I was floored. I was like, holy shit. It's like they're gonna talk to his family. I mean, it's put out by his manager and all that. It's like, you know, you someone like you hitting the streets, you know, hitting the show's ground zero and
Yeah.
in getting their take directly. I mean, that's something that I envy. I love that.
Yeah, man. And I mean, you're at a good point where like I mean, you got a podcast, man. You got the platform to get to the people, you know what I mean? It's just I don't know. I guess it just comes down to just I don't know, like having time, really.
Yeah, exactly. You said it.
Like, yeah, I mean, it doesn't come down. I mean, drive and all that kind of stuff has to do with it, but I mean, the time aspect, I spent so much time like just sitting down here and just editing that fucking thing. Like,
What did you use to edit? You have a specific type of program?
I use Filmora.
Okay.
A lot of people use, Premiere and all that kind of stuff, but I don't have that. I have Filmora. It's like a very, I wouldn't call it simple, but it's like to the roots type
Hmm.
editing software.
Hmm.
Um, but it gets the job done. It's not
Yeah.
super crazy, but I mean, it did everything I needed it to do. Um, but yeah, I'm glad that you really enjoyed it because like,
Yeah. It's, you know, and the fact that you hit me up and was like, dude, like, you know, would you want to do a podcast? And I was like, this dude's asking me if I want to do a podcast. Fucking right. Shit, let's do this shit.
yeah, well,
See where it goes.
yeah, and I mean like, yeah, I think it's hard nowadays, like with social media, where like you're just getting like bombarded by so much things. You know what I mean? But like when somebody reaches out to you, you're like, whoa, like wait, hold up, yes, I'm down. Like, uh, that's what I like. I mean, like I hit up people that I wouldn't expect to say yes, and then they're like, yeah, man, of course. I'm like, all right, all right, you know, but but
But, what do you like? There's always I feel like there's like always a one particular artist that either look up to or you like, you know, you're like fuck it, I'm gonna ask him, but you're like nervous as all shit. Like, was there
oh
any
yeah.
guy that you walked up on or contacted and was like breathing a little heavy, like, oh, you know,
Yeah.
trying to keep the fanboyism, you know, at bay? Was there a guy like that for you?
Yeah. 2 words, Travis Ryan.
No. Yeah.
Cattle decapitation, man. Whew. I don't know what to say other than that's my favorite, like one of my favorite bands of all time.
Yeah.
And um, something happened at the show where it was super delayed. It was kind of a shit show. Like they had to rewire the PA. And I was like, you know, I hooked up with through like a PR person. So I was like, this is gonna kind of like fall through. Like there's too many problems going on. And like lo and behold, me and my friend are sitting at the bar and fucking Travis like taps me on the shoulder or like somebody tapped me on the shoulder and I turn around and fucking Travis Ryan's like, so you're like the film guy, right? And yeah, man, I was super nervous about that. It was way too cold to do it outside. So like we like went on his bus, like on the cattle decap bus, filmed it, And holy shit, man. I was like,
Palms are sweaty.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. That was definitely a surreal moment just because of how impactful they have been on my like last couple years in metal.
Yeah.
But yeah, just another regular normal dude, just got a
Yeah.
fancy bus and makes really good music, you know?
Yeah. That's awesome, man. Like, it just I got to be real chummy with Sammy Dewey of Goat Horror. First off with on Instagram, where I was just like picking his brain, about gear, because like I was just getting into that, into playing, like, I felt like I was like an intermediate guitar player, musician, wannabe, and like I want to step up my game a little bit as far as gear is concerned. Like, I mean, he was so accommodating and just really open to talk to me, and he was just, hey man, this is what I use. This is what I think, would definitely shape your tone a little, for what you're after. Just keep practicing. He's constantly telling me that. Just keep practicing.
Hey man, I tell you, like I haven't picked up my guitar in like a few months, and I could tell I'm like, like it. Practice is a very important word.
Yeah, I mean, hey man, one thing that I heard, and I don't know if it was on a podcast or if it was just something on YouTube or something like that, but you might not be motivated, but as long as
Yeah,
you are consistent,
yeah,
and you could just, if
yeah,
even if you're going through the motions with the guitar, it's gonna be muscle memory, and you're gonna, open up your dexterity and all that good stuff. Just staying consistent. And man,
that,
I was like, I'll. It's like when I bought the first guitar, when I started playing, I was like, I'm gonna do that no matter if I'm in a shit mood or not. You know, no emergencies are in the way. I'm gonna play. I'm just because I enjoy it. It's first and foremost. I'm
yeah,
not trying to impress, a whole lot of people. I mean, I'm not trying to play a show just yet. I just love playing.
yeah. It's one of those things, man. Once you develop that ear, it's all over. Like once you develop the ear and the ability to write songs, nah, there's literally no turning back. Like
No, really, no.
it turns into like, okay, now I have a podcast, I can make music, I can do this, I can do that, I could do photography, I could do video, I could do media, I could do this. There's just a lot of things,
Hmm.
um but consistency with anything, it doesn't matter
Anything.
what you're doing, making pancakes, making eggs, making pizzas like we were talking about, that's it.
You like you got me thinking about food now, man. Like I'm like really hungry. I didn't eat yet. It's
Oh geez.
I mean, I'm all about pancakes, eggs, and pizza.
Yeah, that's funny, man. I don't want to make you starve. Is there
uh,
anything else that you want to bring up during this?
oh yeah, I almost got away from my little structure, if you want to call it that. My bullet points, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I need to hear your like your sacred six albums, like
Holy shit, 6 albums?
six albums
Gosh. This
that John cannot live without.
okay, Death Atlas.
Okay,
Death Atlas. um, Iowa, Slipknot.
that's the best
Uh,
album in my opinion.
okay, this is hard. Holy crap. I'm gonna just say, Jesus Christ. You're really hitting me with this hard. 1984 Van Halen. Bloodbath, Nightmares Made of Flesh.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Black Dahlia Murders Nocturnal. Sadistic Intent. Uh, anything by them.
Yeah,
How
yeah.
how many more do we have?
I think this is the last one. I think.
Okay, last one. Oh yeah. Well, I don't want to bring up death. I already talked about that. At the gates, man.
Oh shit, yeah.
At the
That's
gates, man.
fucking
Anything
right.
anything that they create is fucking amazing.
Hell yeah.
I drink from the night itself. I mean, that's a newer one, but
Mhm.
God, that's so good. It's so good. What about you? Give me a
Man,
couple.
you know, I've been every time I ask there's always a choice person like yourself that turns the question out on me. And
Give me two.
I try to s- I try to stay real consistent, but definitely Celtic Frost's Morbid Tales.
Yeah.
That's got to be in there. Dark Thrones, Panzerfaust. Um, it's two. Um, I'm gonna say Slayers. Depending on the time of day, it's like Rain and Blood. Yeah, Rain and Blood, such fucking masterpiece. That's three. Um, Black Sabbath's Volume 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Death's Human. That's my favorite death.
Okay.
I'll and how many Volume 4 Death. Uh Tales, Panzerfaust. That's 4. I got 2 more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say ISIS's Oceanic.
Oh, it is
But
that one?
what's that?
Who is that?
ISIS.
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 Okay.
It's post metal type of
Okay.
stuff. Real,
Okay.
they're the guys that pretty much follow in the footsteps of Neurosis, sort of.
Yeah.
But you never heard of ISIS?
No.
Oh man,
No, I haven't.
get on that. Get on that.
Yeah, I have to check
It's
them out.
it's I think they call that art metal.
Art metal.
Art
Oh
metal,
boy.
yeah.
Okay.
But it's good, man. It's just ISIS is one of those bands where you could just it pretty much capture every mood. It goes from extreme to just like just beautiful landscapes that they create.
Yeah.
A lot of people compare them to like Cult of Luna. If I don't know if you heard of them.
Yeah. I've heard of
Yeah,
them.
like that. Okay, so Oceanics 5 and Motorhead Ace of Spades.
Hold up. Okay, let's go. Lemmy. I gotta hold
Yeah.
the mic like Lemmy.
Yeah.
Let's finish it. Let's finish it like this. Lemmy's the man, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
dude.
I mean, uh, if if we were to really think about like a monumental person, like the metal scene. I mean, the first part of that documentary, literally the first sentence, Lemmy
Lemmy.
was in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh, I mean, Barney was like, yeah, it all started with Lemmy from Motorhead, and I mean, freaking inspired from him, man. He
Mhm.
made a huge statement.
He really did. And he has some of the best lines that's ever been uttered, like in interviews. I think he was quoted as saying that just because something's new doesn't mean it's necessarily good. It's just new.
Oh yeah, yeah, it's just new.
Just new. I love
Yeah,
that quote, man. Love it. And I
I
stuck
like
by
that.
that. I don't know how old I was when I heard that quote, but I stick with it like all my life. Yeah, it's new. It's new. And like
No doubt.
if like my friends could tell, like, if I don't something doesn't connect with me, I'm like, that's new.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
different.
there's been a lot of new records since the pandemic, whatever, like during or after.
Hmm.
Um, it's some of it's new. That's about it. And then
Yeah.
there's some that's like really like captivating and awesome. Like they took the time and you could tell that they like made a really spicy record with
Yeah.
like new new things in it.
Yeah.
But there's just a lot of art to keep a hold of, man.
Yeah, and especially like the 2 years that people were just kind of like on lockdown with COVID. I just knew that there was gonna be some creativity that's just gonna be completely unhinged, and
Yeah.
and a lot of people just had like a lot to say, a lot of emotions, you know, all over the map. It was just people were feeling whatever they were feeling and had to put it out, you know, musically. And I think we're seeing that, as like these you get the last two releases of, bands that you interviewed and I talked about Goat Whore's new one, The Angels Hung from Heaven, and
Yeah.
the latest Exhume. I mean, those two albums, man, it's like holy shit. It's like those two bands, like I don't know what to say. I'm speechless when it comes to the amount of extremity that they are putting out there, and it's
Oh
like
yeah.
they attacked another level of it, and whether it's them you know aggressively finding something that shapes the tone a little better, uh, or playing faster, the vocals coming out even deeper and heavier. It's something to fucking behold, that's for sure.
Yeah. And I think we're at a point where like what is there next to do with extreme
Yeah.
music? I mean, uh there's no lock and key, man, to this thing. Like it's just open for anybody to just make whatever the fuck they want.